When it comes to Sahanasheelatha, I would like to ask all of you, on a scale of 10, rate yourself on the patience level. Now, I would like to share an interesting story with all of you. In a village, an old man wanted some help from the king because his daughter was ailing with some illness. So he goes to the palace thinking about the daughter and also with an optimism that the king will help him in getting her treated. So he goes to the palace and the security guards stop him. They do not allow him to enter the palace or meet the king. So he thinks that let me wait. Patience is the best quality. That is what this old man had believed. So he waits day long in front of the palace, waiting that one or other time king will appear. The old man waited and waited. It was almost in the late evening, and a young boy comes from the village and says that his daughter is no more. With all sadness and grief, the old man starts walking back to the village without even uttering a word to the security guards. Probably, if they had allowed him to meet the king would have arranged a better doctor for the treatment of this ailing daughter and could have saved a life. However, old man doesn't speak anything. What is that we learn from this lesson? Do you think this is the kind of patience that you should have as a leader? Patience is not about waiting patiently with the belief that some miracle happen will someday, isn't it? Whether Sahanasheelatha is just about patience? Not at all. Sahanasheelatha is much beyond that. Let's dissect the aspect or the concept of Sahanasheelatha further. Sahanasheelatha is a combination of many more things along with patience. A classic example. I would like to share an example and then get into the interpretation of Sahanasheelatha. How many of you know this man? An old man, but quite known to many people. He is Dashrath Manji. He is also called as the mountain man. If you know his story, he comes from a very rural background of Bihar and he built a road. He couldn't save his wife who was going through labor pain, and because his village was on the other side of the mountain, and climbing the mountain and reaching the doctor was a very difficult task, and he saw a lot of people are struggling with this. Initially the villagers waited that government will do something for them and give an access to the medical health or any other facility for that matter. However, when things didn't happen, he started cutting the mountain and building the road. Of course, he was patient enough to do this. Not just that, he was also persistent in doing this. This means through Sahanasheelatha, we want the leaders to inculcate not just patience, but perseverance, persistence, and endurance. I repeat, the leaders have to inculcate along with patience, because a lot of people advise leaders to be patient. Great. But they do not also add that leaders should have perseverance, persistence, and endurance. In order to remember it, since we have just finished second wave of COVID, I do not know how many more waves to come. I thought it is easy for us to remember. That's why I have said PPE kit. So leaders should have PPE kit so that they can be exercising Sahanasheelatha in the truest sense. However, it's easy to say have patience, right? Isn't it? But it is difficult to develop that patience, because here we are talking about patience, perseverance, endurance, and persistence. And when you bring this in combination, it's difficult to really practice it. And if you have to have patience in combination with this, then one has to go through a process. We need to build it in ourselves one after another. It's not happening all together. We have to build it one after another. It needs a lot of guts to take patience in the way we talk about in the name of Sahanasheelatha.